Hey everybody, welcome to part 2. We got racist Greeks, NBA uniforms, and blind archers. Let's go. This is your sports check. Oh, sorry guys. Still trying to make sense out of the opening ceremonies last night. My attention span nearly had a seizure. Let me see if I can recap this correctly. And here come the English out of their magical hobbit hill, like little ants in dresses and top hats. Ants that can break it down. Look at them go building their little ant home. It's actually a recreation of the Industrial Revolution in England. That was totally my second guess. And how do we follow up that history lesson? Peter Pan! Plus a smorgasbord of other British childhood tales. And then the nightmares come. Who will save the children? An army of Mary Poppinses. And we all know a spoonful of sugar chases the nightmares away and
kills Voldemort.
You know who else would kill Voldemort? James Bond, who parachutes into the stadium with the Queen. The Queen, who looked a bit underwhelmed as she gazed out into the sea of loyal subjects and children's choirs.
Oh dear, look at all the people. What are you going to do? I just jumped from a helicopter. How do you plan to top that? Oh, the last Olympics here in '48 was so much better anyway. I was 22 and pregnant. And where did James go?
No need to explain that, but the festivities continued much to the chagrin of my ADD. Mr. Bean, anyone? And now it's time for a musical montage. But not just any musical montage. A musical with an underlying internet social networking theme.
Whoa!
We're still talking about sports here, right? Sure, here come the teams.
Whoa!
And more teams. And more teams. And more teams. Oh, there's America!
Whoa!
Torch, fireworks, Paul McCartney. Brain can't compute. But there's one athlete who didn't quite make it to the games. A triple jumper from Greece named Voula Papachristou. Vavavoula. But just weeks before she was to leave for London, Voula decided to tweet about the recent rash of African immigrants in Greece.
With so many Africans in Greece, the mosquitoes from the West Nile will at least be eating some homemade food. Tee-hee!
Yeah, you know the whole thing about Twitter is everyone can see it. And they still haven't created the only my semi-racist followers can see this tweet tab. I know, right? So, naturally, the status blazed a trail through the Twitter sphere and quickly landed Miss V in hot water. She attempted several apologies, but the Hellenic Olympic Committee pulled her plane ticket faster than a West Nile mosquito to an African immigrant. Honestly, I feel bad for her, but word has it that the Greece chapter of the KKK is working diligently on her reinstatement. And one last tidbit on the Olympics. On Friday, South Korean archer Im Dong-hyun broke his own world record in the opening round of the Olympic tournament. Archery. But there's a catch. He's legally blind. With only 20% vision in his right eye and 10% in his left, Im relies solely on the bright colors of the target, with no glasses.
What?
I wonder what it's like for the other competitors losing to this guy with two good eyes. It's like losing a spelling bee to Billy Madison. A Jenga match with the Hulk. A dunk contest against Danny DeVito. A game of Quiet Mouse to Joan Rivers. But really, I have to give Im his props for proving what the human body can do through dedication and discipline, even with a handicap. This last segment has nothing to do with the Olympics, but it's something I just couldn't pass on. Last week, the NBA's Board of Governors passed a preliminary bill that would sell advertising space on players' jerseys starting in 2013. Right? NASCAR's been doing it for decades, but it's just so corny, cheesy, and European. What's next? The ball sailing through the net, in slow motion, going into the commercial break, revealing a Pepsi logo. Instead of confetti, Doritos and Lay's potato chip bags will rain from the skies to celebrate the championship. That might actually be pretty funny.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah, baby!
It's nothing new. Pro basketball and pro sports in general have been flooded with company advertising for years. The Sprite Slam Dunk Contest, the Taco Bell Skills Challenge, the Foot Locker 3-point Shootout. And who could forget when the Lakers' Great Western Forum was replaced by the Staples Center? Because nothing says basketball like office supplies. In an era where ratings and popularity have reached an all-time high in the last decade, it's hard to see the NBA trade their integrity and values for more cash. But lately, they appear to be the same thing. And that's the show for this week. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel here on YouTube by clicking that button right up there. And next week, I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I want to answer y'all's questions. It could be about baseball, basketball, free agency. We got football coming up, the Olympics. We could even talk about me if you're that interested. So send everything to my YouTube, Twitter, or the Sports Check page on Facebook, and I'll read everything right here on the show. And speaking of the Facebook page, I got my 50th like a couple weeks ago, and her name was Kelly Drewley. Me and Kelly actually worked here in Huntsville at Channel 19, and I'll never forget it because we went to the A-Day game a couple years ago at Auburn University and got to interview Cam Newton right before he won the Heisman Trophy that year. You know, back when he was a relatively unknown 6'6" freak of nature. Thanks, Kelly. But until next time, I'm Seth Hagan, and this has been your Sports Check. Later.